Class of 2015, parents, faculty, members of the Boston University Academy family, good morning and welcome on this beautiful day in Boston. I'm Jean Morrison, and as the University Provost and Chief Academic Officer for Boston University, it's my real pleasure to welcome all of you to the 21st commencement exercises for Boston University Academy and to share this very special moment with all of you. To the soon-to-be graduates, all of you in this room have worked extremely hard to get here. Graduation from Boston University Academy is a rare distinction. Your being here is a reflection of your commitment not only to academic excellence, but to your classmates and to the Academy. And of course, to the terrific work of your moms and dads, all of whom are beaming out there in the audience today. There's a world of incredible opportunity and possibility that lies ahead for you as you exit this room today with the tools that you've honed here and with a continued commitment to being the very best scholars and citizens that you can be. The BU Academy Commencement is always among the most exciting moments of the year on campus, as it offers a chance not only to celebrate your terrific work, but to glimpse into our own future and at the very talented young women and men who will be helping to shape the world we live in. This year, it's also a bittersweet moment as we bid farewell and offer our heartfelt thanks to our head of school, Jim Berkman, who's retiring after 9 years of leadership and service to the Boston University Academy. Jim has served with distinction in his role since arriving in 2006, never wavering in his commitment to the institutional advancement of BUA and to the success of his students. He's worked to promote extremely high standards, to bring the spirit of the arts to the forefront, to grow our freshman class, to strengthen student advising, and to bring the best practices of independent schools to this young institution. He's also served as an outstanding ambassador for the Academy and liaison to our parents and the community. All have served to bolster BUA's national reputation and its strong, long-standing connection to Boston University. And so, on behalf of the Boston University community, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Jim for all that he's given to this role and to the school, and to wish him well in the exciting new chapter of his life, and to offer a small token of our appreciation for his many contributions to the BU Academy. Jim, can you come up, please?
Oh, thank you. That's lovely.
Congratulations. All right, take a bow, stand up, take a bow, come on, stand up, stand up. All right, we are, as you can see, all grateful, Jim, to you for your service. So now it's my pleasure to turn it back over to the chorus. Thank you.
Solvitor acrisiems, gratavike, veris et favoni, tra huntque sicas machinae carinas, ac neque iam stabilis, gaudet pecus, aut arator igni, nec prata canis albicant pruinis. Iam Cytherea coros, ducet Venus, imminente luna, iunctaeque nymphes, gratiae decentes. Alterno terram quatiunt pede, dum gravis cyclopum, vulcanus ardens visit officinas. Nunc decet aut viridi, nitidum caput, impedire mirtro, aut flore terrae, quem ferunt solutae, nunc et in ambrosis fauno decet, immolare lucis, seo poscat agna sivi malit ido.
Eleithui a paredre moiran bathuphronon, pai megalos theneos acousan heras genetria technon, anaus ethen, u paus u melainan dracentes aufronan, tean adelphan alachomen aglaoian heban. Anapneomen duch apantes esisa, erge de potmo sugent teteron netera. Ed de tuche teserdon melifronaitian, choisi moisan enebaletai megalai gar alkai, skoton polun hymnon echonti deomenai. Suphoi de melonta tritaion lanemon, emathon ud hupokerde blaben. Apneos penechros te thanatu peras. Fuad hakastos diaferomen biotan lacontes. Homen ta tadaloi, tuchen o enadunaton. Aud daimonian hapasan anelomenon, echo epen tinituto moira telos empedon, oreche, de gauetai, andros anerti, faimen kegeton emenai, no o filesant atenei geton mi charma panton, epaxion, gar svisin empedosthenea bioton armosais, ebal liparo tegerai diaplokois, audaimon eonta, paidon te paides, echoen ae, geras toper nun kai areon opithen.
It seems like just yesterday, we were all freshmen going bowling with our intimidating peer advisors. But since then, we've created so many more amazing memories at this school. It's been great crying together at Camp Wing. I had a blast memorizing the prologue of the Canterbury Tales. And you all know how much I ship Pip and Biddy in Great Expectations. Just kidding, I wasn't here for all of that. So don't spoil Great Expectations because I want to read it later on. And don't tell anyone this secret, but whenever everyone recites the prologue to the Canterbury Tales, I stop after the first line. And even though it wasn't at Camp Wing, you've all seen plenty of sleep-deprived and sugar-high me in my 2 years here at BUA. I never had the luxury of having 2 lockers. I never had to make the difficult decision between taking Latin or Greek, but I've still shared many classic BUA experiences with all of you. I've succumbed to creating a Quizlet account to study for Dr. Horn's chronology quizzes. I've learned in Bio 107 that the plural of tufted titmouse is tufted titmice. This year, I suffered with you all, class of 2015, as we wrote our senior theses. And then, in the midst of senioritis and spring semesteritis, I've played countless games of croquet and bananagrams, and even some chess when I'm really desperate. For the last 2 years, you've heard me complain about thesis and about the hours I spent on each history reading. Though we sometimes vent about all the work we have, I think we all appreciate this school and the experiences it's given us. We've had to endure lots of stress, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. In fact, I wish I could have been here to rant with you guys about illogical Latin declensions, Dr. Prohl's surprise reading quizzes, and having to ballroom dance with boys who have cooties. After English last year, I couldn't write a speech without mentioning Robert Frost. And so I must say that I'm so glad I chose the road not taken by coming here junior year. BUA has served me very well. Most importantly, this school has catered perfectly to my Starbucks addiction. But second to that, BUA has truly nurtured my intellectual curiosity. I'd like to thank Mr. Gamboni, Dr. Harvey, and Dr. Prohl for this. Whether it was only for a summer reading discussion, or for a semester or a year-long class, I've loved being guided by your insight and passion. 2 years ago, the probability of my taking an English class by choice was about as high as the chance that I would dye my hair blue. Clearly, both of those attitudes have changed by today. So I think because I'm valedictorian, I'm supposed to dispense some wisdom or advice, the secret to my success. Unfortunately, I think you'd be better off reading Ben Franklin's autobiography to learn time management. However, I can share a few things I've learned here. I've learned how to walk from Back Bay to Copley. In Mr. Ford's class, I've learned the ancient art of the pun from Sean, Brian, and David. As the type of person who always has 4 backup plans for what to buy for lunch at the GSU, I'm still learning to let go of unnecessary stress. But in all seriousness, BUA has taught me the value of good friends. As a class, we've supported each other through tough times, and I will always be grateful for everyone who was there for me. Seniors, you've all touched my heart in some way, and my life would be very different had I not met any one of you. Our struggles have brought us closer together, and I know we will continue to help each other succeed in college and beyond. It's been an honor to have spent these past years at BUA. Class of 2015, it's been real.
Thank you, Dr. Horn, for that. So, the powers that be have tasked me with speaking on behalf of our class, apparently in the belief that I won't abuse the power to bore every single one of you. And my first reaction, was, this is really an honor, but I quickly realized I had no idea what I was going to talk about, as frequently happens. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to retread a frequently taken road by thanking Dr. Harvey and BUA for making me just a little bit less making me a little bit more dauntless, less daunted, as BUA requires. Because, let's face it, none of these topics are as difficult as the road not taken. Now, as a BUA, you're expected not to be daunted by things, and I suppose this is as good a time as any for a confession. I suppose I'm pretty daunted by Dr. A and Dr. Horn. They're pretty tall. So I asked a handful of my fellow graduating seniors what daunts them most, and I got answers like senior thesis, senior thesis, senior thesis, graduating, senior thesis. The dichotomy between a meaningless, absurd world and meaningful, subjective human experience. Wait, I forgot about senior thesis. So why is the class of 15 in particular daunted by this one project? Well, perhaps the projects we choose are doomed to be too individualized. We're a class that thrives on discussing homework, struggling through classes together, and collaboration, even if the goal of this collaboration is a friendlier deadline or curve. From this comes our motto, strength in numbers, of course. While discussing our class, it's impossible not to mention a very special honorary member of sorts. He's had a great impact on each of our lives at the school. He's open for everyone, yet our grade rallies around him. Though he's already influential before our arrival, I think it's fair to say that, in a sense, he's graduating with us. I refer, of course, to Mr. Wallace. This majestic beast here, he has quite a rich history with the class of 2015. He's laughed with us, he's cried with us, he's stayed up all night at lock-in, he's sat around the bonfire at Camp Wing. Though he's spent a lot of time confined to a locker, he's also soared with us, mostly like this. It's not very high flying. Okay, let me now try my hand at a metaphor. Uh-oh. The multitude of these little whiskers here represents the variability of our grade, and the left tusk represents our sharp wit, and the right tusk represents our keen intellect, yes. Truly, truly, nobody can doubt that Mr. Wallace is the quintessential member of the class of 2015. Thank you. Okay. Now that I've spent quite a while discussing a stuffed animal, I'm contractually obligated to mention another fellow graduate here, the headmaster. Unfortunately, he spent a little too much time advising thesis and a little too little time writing his own, which means he won't be able to leave until June. Bummer. Bummer. And the time he doesn't spend on his thesis, I strongly urge him to serve several detentions for jaywalking. We'll miss you, Mr. Berkman. Okay, before I ramble off into oblivion, I actually do have a point to make about our grade. Shocking. Our situation isn't unique as much as we've all heard about our being one of the less academically oriented grades in recent history. We've had good grades, we've had bad grades, good college results, bad college results, good times, bad times, you know. Overall, we're just like another BUA grade, and I mean, that says a lot. We're just another collective of 40 very talented, very different individuals. But what makes us truly unique is the way we react to adversity and what the school has to throw at us. While we've been through a lot of things together, we haven't lost our sense of humor. I can't count the number of times that I've been cheered up walking into the Academy building by a kind face, yes, but also by a witty remark or a well-timed quip. Whatever our faults, the environment we created allowed us never to forget to be ourselves and enjoy ourselves. I hope every one of the class of 2015 finds such a community in college and beyond, so that we may not only survive, but thrive, and for all our troubles, still feel alive. Haha. Truly, class of 2015, we are the fun. Isn't that right, Mr. Wallace? Thank you, congratulations, everyone, and to quote the great Tom Norton, see you later, suckers.
I think Mr. Walrus will stay with us. Provost Morrison, class of 2015, honored speakers, faculty, staff, graduates, families, friends, and also we're so pleased to have Dr. Ari Betoff, the next head of school at BU Academy, with us. And my wife, McKee, and my son, Philip, who are also here today. We have a first. The first time we will hear from a pair of commencement speakers. Now, it's true, Bill Clinton and Bono weren't available. Thank you, Kenny. But what a pair it is. Dr. Lawrence Bacow was the revered 12th president of Tufts University and is now President Emeritus, as well as one of the 10 members of the corporation running Harvard University. In his decade leading Tufts, he championed academic excellence and placed a premium on open communications and close engagement with students, faculty, staff, and alumni. I know personally how well he carried out that mission of personal connection because he and his wife Adele, who's also here with us, with her sister Robin, and Kenny's wife Nina, got to know my son Winston at Tufts, just as I was getting to know their son Kenny as a graduate of the Academy. And Larry also fostered and ran with the Tufts marathon team, on which my daughter Nellie ran one year as Winston's sister. And only last week, we had a photographer adding pictures to our photo archive who mentioned having gone to Tufts. And when I said Larry Bacow would be our speaker today, the photographer said, I ran with him early in the mornings. And I emailed Larry, and Larry emailed back, tell him to give me a call, we can continue to run together. Nationally, Larry Bacow has been an advocate for broader access to education and the importance of need-based aid, and internationally, he's helped to support university's commitment to civic engagement. Trained as a lawyer and economist, Larry is an internationally recognized expert on non-adjudicatory approaches to resolving environmental disputes. He received his SB in economics at MIT, his JD from Harvard Law School, and his master's in public policy and doctorate from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. Before leading Tufts, he was on the faculty of MIT for over 2 decades and ended there as chancellor. Among his many honors are serving as president in residence at Harvard's Graduate School of Education, and he is currently leader in residence at Harvard's Kennedy School for the Center for Public Leadership. He is also a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. But we at BU Academy like to think of him as Kenny's dad. Kenneth Bacow graduated from the Academy in 2000, then attended the University of Pennsylvania, where he earned a BS in economics from the Wharton School, as well as a BA in French from the College of Arts and Sciences. Truly, the well-rounded Academy graduate we all expect and admire. Kenny joined Deutsche Bank in New York after graduating from Penn, advising companies on hedging currency risk. You have to explain that to me later. For 3 years, he and his wife Nina lived in Hong Kong, where he ran the corporate treasury sales team for Deutsche Bank. They're now back in New York City. He's also a licensed pilot with ratings for airplanes and helicopters. Truly the Renaissance man that BU Academy graduates. Kenny is committed to the Academy, being a founding member of our Alumni Council, and he's also committed to undergraduate education at Penn. And like his father, Kenny runs marathons. In fact, father and son have run 3 marathons together. So as Kenny has pointed out, they have some experience at being side by side. Please help me welcome Larry and Kenny Bacow.
Many thanks for the kind introduction. It's a great honor to speak here 15 years after my own commencement. And I actually spoke on this stage 15 years ago, but I suspect that that makes me the only person who actually remembers who the speaker was on this day. So I harbor no illusions that any of you will remember our names 15 years from now, but hopefully we will be able to give you a few words of advice before your well-deserved celebrations.
And I also want to thank Jim for the wonderful honor of addressing this year's graduating class. For me, it's a double honor because I get to share the podium with my son. I know there are many proud parents out in the audience today, and I have to confess, I am also one of them.
The process of leaving the safe confines of Boston University Academy reminds me of a good line from Mark Twain. And he said, "When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years."
As you can see, he can now stand to have me around right next to him. And parents, the good news is that you only have 4 more years to go until your children recognize your brilliance.
So after we received the call from Mr. Berkman inviting us to address the 2015 graduating class, I thought long and hard about what words I might be able to offer to inspire the graduating class as you leave Boston University Academy. And after much reflection, the words came to me. "When that opera with the showers sota, the drocht of March hath pierced to the roote."
Now, to any of our confused guests, Kenny assures me that your sons and daughters will be able to translate these lines from the Canterbury Tales, from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. And as you can see, they may someday come in useful to all of you when you're invited back to give the commencement address here at BU 15 years from now. This fall, all of you will be entering college. Now, you actually have a leg up on your classmates, wherever they might be. And that is because you've had a preview of coming attractions during your time here at Boston University Academy, because you've had the opportunity to take classes at Boston University. But Kenny and I still have some advice to you on how each of you can make the most out of your next 4 years. So Keep your hands inside the ride, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. A little advice. I think college is fundamentally about figuring out who you are as intellectuals, who you are socially, who you are politically, who you are spiritually. It's really the first time that you get to make these choices free from the direct influence of your parents, because you're going to be on your own. And in making these choices, I suspect that most of you are going to experiment a little bit, just as your parents did when they were your age. My advice to you is to try and do this experimentation, how shall we say it, responsibly. You will own your choices, make them wisely.
And my advice as somebody who's hired members of the Facebook generation is to remember that everything you post online is public, not to your friends, but to your parents and your future employers.
Now, it's tempting as parents to try and guide our kids through this process by constantly offering them advice. I think it's probably best as parents to wait for them to ask us for advice. I tried to stop giving our two sons unsolicited advice when they turned 18. As Kenny would tell you, I was not always successful. But if you offer advice unsolicited, most often your kids are going to ignore it. And worse, they're probably going to resent you for offering it. And if you wait until they ask for it, they're far more likely to heed it. So parents, cut them some slack, relax. You've done your job well. The fact that you are sitting here today is evidence of that. And trust these guys to make the right decisions, because they will. It just may take them a little while to get there. Now, to our graduating seniors, you may be intimidated when you set foot on college campus when you meet your classmates, and some of them are going to profess to have their whole lives figured out in advance. I'm going to double major in this, minor in that, then go to X for graduate school, then do a postdoc, and then pursue a tenure-track job at some other institution. Well, in my experience, the people who have the most interesting lives do not necessarily have linear careers. So relax a little bit. You guys are going to all figure it out. You need to be open to new challenges and new opportunities. In fact, for most of us, our lives, our careers are a series of fortuitous accidents that never could have been planned or even anticipated. You don't have to have your whole life planned. In fact, what you major in college really is not all that important. It's important to find something that you care about and do it well, but a major does not a career make. And I'll let you in on a little secret. A career is only knowable in retrospect. On the day you retire, and you can ask Mr. Berkman about this, because I guarantee you when he was graduating from law school, he never thought he would be sitting up here today. On the day you retire, you can look back and sort of say, that was my career. Now, you're going to get the most out of the next 4 years if you play to your weakness, not to your strength. So whatever your comfort zone may be, find a way to explore beyond it. BUA forced you to do this with its focus on a classical education. And kudos to both the Latin and Greek orders for doing a terrific job, a wonderful example of extending yourself beyond one's comfort zone, at least as you entered here 4 years ago. In retrospect, I suspect that all of you learned more than you thought you would from studying the classics.
And if nothing else, a firm knowledge of ancient Greek will help you navigate from Zeta Beta Tau to Psi Upsilon. Seriously though, if you're a biology major, go take a sculpture class. If you're a theater major, take an economics class. Study abroad for a semester. Whatever your comfort zone is, expand your boundaries and get good at responding to the unfamiliar. I think too many people feel like they have to be perfect, and the reality is none of us are. We all make mistakes, and the trick is to learn from them. Life is going to throw you curveballs, so you better learn how to hit them. The good news is that you're all exceptionally well prepared for the world beyond Commonwealth Ave. The ability to parse problems, synthesize data, communicate, and to not be intimidated intellectually are all skills that you've learned here. And as I've learned in the 15 years since I left BUA, These are the skills that are truly in short supply.
I'm fond of saying that the single best predictor of whether or not a student has a fabulous experience in college is whether or not they get to know at least one faculty member well enough so that they stay in touch with them for their entire lives. Now, this was easy to do at a small place like Boston University Academy. It's going to be harder to do in college. You're going to have to take affirmative action on your part in seeking out faculty. And if you don't know what to talk to faculty about, just ask them about what excites them about their own scholarship. Be prepared for a long conversation. Now, one of your speakers already mentioned the importance of time management. I think this is essential if you're going to get the most out of college. Most students wait until 15 minutes before their first class before they drag themselves out of bed. They skip breakfast. They then try and grab something to eat after that first class and then manage to waste time until the next class or two follows. They actually don't sit down to start studying and doing their homework, usually until
Midnight, 11 p.m.
something like that. They then go to sleep, usually 3:30, 4 o'clock. In fact, when I was at Tufts and I used to welcome parents to Parents' Weekend, I always used to say, you may think your kids are going to school in Medford. They're actually going to school in Honolulu. Why do I say that? Because we're on Hawaiian time. They go to sleep 5 hours after we do. They get up 5 hours later. I think if you learn to treat school like a 9-to-5 job, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., make sure that you're either going to class or studying. You're going to find you actually have relatively little work to do in the evenings and on the weekends, and life is going to be a lot easier if you're not perpetually tired.
And I tend to think that 9 a.m. classes are uncivilized. Figure out how you learn best and optimize for that. When I sat in your seats 15 years ago today, the thought of heading off to college filled me with a mix of uncertainty, excitement, and fear of whether I would succeed. Let me be candid. College is going to be easier than BUA. You are better prepared for day one than almost all of your peers. So keep the excitement, but relax. You're going to do just fine.
Now, I would be remiss if I also didn't take this opportunity to comment on the contributions of your head of school, Jim Berkman. As I know from personal experience, running a school, any school, is not a job. It's a life. And for the last 9 years, your life has been devoted to this institution and to these students and those that have preceded them. From all that I can see, having seen your graduates at Tufts and seen the impact that you've had on so many young people, as well as the reputation of this institution, you've done an extraordinarily good job, and we are all in your debt. Thank you, Jim.
So I thought in conclusion, a quote from my own speech from 15 years ago might be appropriate. And I quote, "As I leave Boston University Academy in May of 2000, I look forward to fulfilling my dream of inventing a social network on the internet, sort of Facebook, if you will." Actually, that was not the speech, unfortunately. My 18-year-old self did, however, say, and I quote, "I know that I'm not likely to forget my time at the Academy and the people who have been a part of it. I can only hope that we will take some of the last 4 years with us wherever we go." With the benefit of hindsight, my 18-year-old self was onto something. 15 years later, I'm still close with many of my best friends from BUA, and you will be too. To the Boston University graduating class of 2015, congratulations, good luck, and I hope that one of you will be standing here in 2030.
Let me also add my congratulations to the class of 2015. You've all worked really, really hard to get to this day. More than most, I can appreciate it because I saw how this guy sweated through his 4 years here at the Academy. But you could not have done it yourselves. You had a lot of support and love from your parents and siblings and other loved ones. And to all of you, I want to say thank you for all that you did to help these remarkable young people get to this day here today. Nobody does anything on their own, and they owe a lot to you as well. So we all have great expectations for you. Everybody's going to watch what you do with great interest. Congratulations to the class of 2015. Best of luck to all of you.
Very well done. Thank you. Fabulous. Thank you.
It's okay. Good morning, BUA. Could I ask you guys a question? Yes? Okay, cool. Have you ever tried to fill up your water bottles to the very top at the water fountain, but couldn't because you're tilting your water bottle, and then the fountain's also like tilting it, but then the water's coming out? Yeah? Okay, cool. Or maybe you take your empty water bottle to fill, but half of the water gets on the outside of the bottle instead of the inside because your aim kind of sucks, and then you internally hate yourself for wasting the Earth's natural resources. Does that happen too? Okay, cool. Well, the class of 2015 has the perfect solution, as our senior gift is a new multi-purpose automatic water fountain, similar to those recently installed in the SAO building and in the GSU. Thank you.
For the awarding of diplomas. Sean Robert Glenn Briggs. Congratulations. Katerina Louise Brown. Daniel Kevin Castillo. Rohit Chaparala. William John Cunningham. Cabell Stephen DeLong. Lillian Teresa Grasson-Drake. Wonderful. Emmanuel Isabel Grody. Aaron Thomas Kling Handelman. Jason Hansel. Colin J. Hegarty. Melissa Ann Huang. John Weston Hughes. Newport Jane. Eva Claire Manley Jeffers. Great oration, fabulous. Remy Maurice Kaldalwi. Orly Lipset. Barry Lisak. Rachel Louise Lunny. Olivia D. Magicomo. Daniel Meyerhoff. Daphne Muscovides. Thomas Alex Norton. Aiden Susumu Mian Oi. Lara Andrea Rodriguez. I'm so proud of you. Wonderful. Catherine Parker Royce. Ishan Salwai. Congratulations. Jason Paul Silvestri. Sarah Layla Simon. Congratulations. Taruha Amalia Sturgios. Logan Swanson. You're looking dapper. John Aaron McCormick Shostak. Congratulations. Irene D. Tang. Congratulations, great speech. Thank you. Adeline B. Anastasia Deneen Wald. Congratulations. John Joseph Walsh IV. Eleanor Ann White. All the best. Alexander Isaac Zavriev. I never wash this hand again. Or maybe I'll go wash it right now. Catherine E. Zevin. Congratulations. Hans Hanchao Zheng. Congratulations, Hans. So I want to thank Provost Morrison for her kind words earlier, and Kenny and Larry for your wonderful comments today. And it's interesting, Kenny, that you should use that Mark Twain anecdote about what you thought of your father at 1421, because in college I told my father that same anecdote, and he thought I was calling him a fool. And I said, no, Dad, the joke's on me. But we got past that eventually. Most of the students know that Coleridge's poem, Frosted Midnight, is my favorite poem, teaching me so much about life. And no, this isn't going to be about Frosted Midnight. And my thanks to the art club for putting that poem's last stanza up on the chalk wall with a very moving chalk rendering, really stunningly beautiful, of me sculling on the Charles. Now I'd like to share with you my favorite speech, which, coincidentally, Kenny, is by Mark Twain. We didn't coordinate this. Which also has been an important part of my life since I was 18 years old. As a freshman in college, I attended the Boylston Speaking Competition at Harvard, which, like our classics, declamations, has entries in Greek and Latin, both Greek to me, and also in English. There I heard an amazing recitation of a speech by Twain about two boats, one of which was called the Mary Ann. Fast forward about 18 years, when I was principal of the Upper School of Friends Academy on Long Island. That year, President Bush, the first one, had announced an initiative called 1,000 Points of Light which included public readings at every library in the country. I was invited to read at the local public library, and in thinking about what I might want to share with others, I recalled the Mary Ann and was determined to find that Mark Twain speech. But remember, this was before Google search. So I went to the friend who was most likely to help me succeed in my search, the librarian at Friends Academy, Judy James. Remember this, class of 2015. Go to your friends when you need help. I told her of the Boylston speaking competition and the one hard fact I remembered from the speech 18 years before, that one of the two boats was named the Mary Ann. Judy James went to work, contacting Harvard to get the program from the 1974 competition, thereby learning the speech was called the Lotus Club speech. Then tapping her network of librarian friends to pin down a copy. Weeks passed, and eventually, late one afternoon, she came into my office, bearing a book in front of her on both her hands like the Holy Grail. "I found it," she declared, then waited while I turned to the table of contents, located the Lotus Club speech, and flipped to its pages, only to discover it wasn't my speech about the Mary Ann. I think Judy James was more deflated even than I was. But after she left my office, I'm an English teacher. I was still excited to have a whole volume of Twain's speeches sitting in my lap. So I thumbed through them all until very near the end of the volume, there was the Mary Ann in a speech called the Second Lotus Club speech. I ran to tell Judy James, who floated home that night beaming, and a few weeks later, I read the speech at the 1,000 Points of Light evening at the Locust Valley Glen Cove Public Library. Fast forward another couple of years. My beloved Uncle Jack Berkman was celebrating his 90th birthday in New York City, and his family and friends were encouraged to come with tributes to share on his behalf. I decided this Twain speech was just the ticket, as you'll see in a moment, to honor both his grand life accomplishments and his innate sense of modesty. It wasn't until the day before the party, when I checked the invitation for the location, that I realized I would be reading the Second Lotus Club speech in, wait for it, the Lotus Club itself. Possibly in the same room where Twain had delivered it 97 years before, almost to the day in 1908. Twain had first given the speech in Liverpool in 1907, after receiving an honorary degree at Oxford, as he told his audience at the Lotus Club several months later. So you see, my delivering it more than once is in classic Twain tradition. I'll just adapt a few dates and places to bring it from Oxford in 1907 to Boston University Academy in 2015. Here then is an excerpt from Mark Twain's The Second Lotus Club speech. Home is dear to us all, and I am soon departing from mine on the other side of the Back Bay. BU Academy has conferred upon me the loftiest honor that has ever fallen to my fortune, the one I should have chosen as outranking any and all others within the gift of men or states to bestow upon me. And I have had, in the 9 years that I've been here, another lofty honor, a continuous honor, an honor which has known no interruption in all these 9 years, a most moving and pulse-stirring honor, the hearty hand grip and the cordial welcome, which does not descend from the pale gray matter of the brain, but comes up with the red blood out of the heart. It makes me proud, and it makes me humble. Many and many a year ago, I read an anecdote in Dana's 2 years before the mast. A frivolous little self-important captain of a coasting sloop in the dried apple and kitchen furniture trade was always hailing every vessel that came in sight, just to hear himself talk and air his small grandeurs. One day, a majestic Indiaman came plowing by with course on course of canvas towering into the sky, her decks and yards swarming with sailors, with macaws and monkeys and all manner of strange and romantic creatures populating her rigging, and thereto her freightage of precious spices, lading the breeze with gracious and mysterious odors of the Orient. A noble spectacle, a sublime spectacle, that great ship. Of course, the little coaster captain hopped into the shrouds and squeaked a hail. "Ship ahoy! What ship is that, and whence, and whither?" In a deep and thunderous bass came the answer back, booming across the top of the waves. "The Bagoom of Bengal, 148 days out from Canton, homeward bound. What ship is that?" The little captain's vanity was all crushed out of him, and most humbly he squeaked back, "Only the Mary Ann, 14 hours out from Boston, bound for Kittery Point with nothing to speak of." Oh, the eloquence of that word, only. The eloquence of that phrase, "only the Mary Ann," to express the depths of his humbleness. And that is just my case. During perhaps 1 hour in the 24, not more than that, I stop and reflect. Then I am humble. Then I am properly meek. And for that little time, I am only the Mary Ann, 14 hours out and cargoed with vegetables and tinware. But all the other 23 hours of my self-satisfaction rides high on the white crest of your approval. And then I am the stately Indiaman, plowing the great seas under a cloud of sail and laden with a rich freightage of the kindest words that were ever spoken to a wandering alien, I think. My 9 crowded and fortunate years multiplied by 5, and I am the Bagoom of Bengal, 148 days out from Canton, homeward bound. So like Mark Twain, leaving England for home, I'm leaving BU Academy for home, humbled by all the kindness and support that I've received in my 9 years here, and at the same time, as proud as the Bagoom of Bengal to have been a member of this extraordinary school and world-class university, a recipient of the rich freightage of this community of scholars, remarkable teachers, staff, students, families, graduates, and university colleagues. Like you seniors, I feel this place has been my home. So how can I be leaving it for home, you might ask? As you soon-to-be graduates will find, a home like the Academy can never be left behind, but only prepares you for your next home and your next, as your life builds upon the people and places that came before each succeeding stage. And like Twain, it makes me proud, and it makes me most deeply and humbly grateful. Here then is my charge to the class of 2015. Every day for 1 hour in the 24, not more than that, stop and reflect. Then be humble, then be properly meek, and for that little time, be only the Mary Ann, 14 hours out from Boston, cargoed with vegetables and tinware. But all the other 23 hours in the day, remember that you are also the recipients of the freightage of this remarkable community of scholars, and then be the stately Indiaman, be that noble and sublime spectacle, plowing the great seas under a cloud of sail and lading the breeze with gracious and mysterious odors of the Orient. Be the Bagoom of Bengal, 148 days out from Canton, homeward bound. Seniors, please rise. You may now turn your tassels. Faculty, friends, family, provost, honored speakers, I present to you the graduates of the class of 2015. A few announcements. Very quickly. You're all invited to join us for lunch in the Metcalf Ballroom at the GSU, just a few blocks west of here. Sophomores, you may now have the privilege, and remember it is a privilege, of using the junior-senior room starting tomorrow. I ask that as the seniors and faculty recess, that family and friends please remain seated for a few moments until they get out to the lobby where they'll wait for you. And congratulations again, and thanks to one and all. As they leave the conference.